Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Blackbeard using the official solo rules of the game. So far I'm doing pretty much okay, but unfortunately there were two errors which I caught during editing last time. One thing is easily fixed. So this guy here, Bartholomew Roberts, doesn't have 600 worth of booty, he has 700. So I think I rolled a 6 and then somehow, I don't know, I gave him 6 instead of 7. So that's the first minor mistake, no harm done. The second one is definitely heavier. This is in respect to this natural disaster must play immediately card, because it says all merchant ships on the map are replaced. And this is something I totally messed up, and there were at least 2 actions or so where pirates, so system player pirates, were basically able to find some of those merchant. Something I cannot take back or don't want to take back, but I will still replace the remaining merchants on the board for now. I believe there should be 7 in total, so I will replace them now off camera, so not sure where they will show up now. This can also totally change the entire situation of the game now, but yeah, I have to live with that. So let's see how things turn out. Yeah, that's the new situation. Especially this sea zone is now very interesting, the West Caribbean here, so definitely not too far from me, though that's really good. I was really lucky, and I also got 1 additional merchant here basically in my sea zone, so overall that's really great. I think I was also wrong in respect to the amount of merchants out there. I could find only 6 now, but I have to respawn new merchants at the start of my round anyway, so I will do that. So 2 new merchants will come out, so whatever, take just 2 out of those. But before I deploy them, I will draw 2 new event cards for my hand. And here I got 2 new anti-pirate cards. So another warship sighting. This could be helpful. We saw that during last term. And a scurvy outbreak. Also pretty interesting. I could also play this card for its actions. Keep in mind I have an initiative rating of 3, so this would give me 3 actions. But now let's spawn those 2 merchants, and again I will do that off camera. And again I was incredibly lucky because another merchant showed up in the Central America season where I happen to be, and the second one reappeared in Bombay up there. So someone could go in there, but keep in mind I can also activate this on-station warship there. So whoever goes in there, yeah, will have to face this warship. It's still a pretty weak warship, so I could really imagine that some of the pirates will still go up there and try to take her out, because yeah, after all, that's 6 victory points or 12 victory points if you retire successfully. And I think now it's time to play this heavy guns card here. So first of all, I get 1 action, and with this action I will go import pretty much, and then I will use the event on it which says play on your own import pirate to gain a permanent +2 modifier to this craft's combat roll. Awesome stuff. So let's try to move into this port here, Honduras. Let's see what card the system player draws. A letter of marque. Okay, that's not an anti-pirate card, and this is really a card I need, because in the solo version of the game the only way that you are allowed to retire, let's say, peacefully is by using a letter of marque. So you have to have a letter of marque, and then you can go to a, let's say, friendly harbor pro-pirate port in order to retire voluntarily. So I cannot bribe governors and whatnot. I can also not bribe my way out of a KC encounter or something like that. Really, this is the only way to retire peacefully in this game. This is a pity, because this card is discarded. Good thing is I don't suffer any bad things. So I'm now moving into Honduras, and then I will play the heavy guns card. So I get a +2 now, and I was somehow wrong, so I will keep this card. So you slide it under your player board in order to show that you have them. I will still use the 2 to remind me or help reminding me, but those cards do not automatically go to the discard pile. So here are my heavy guns, here's my +2, and this is already the end of the turn for me. Let's move over to Benjamin Hornigold, and that's the must play immediately card. European Turmoil. What else is new? All KCs, so King's Commissioners in play, are removed and placed back into the pool. Also remove any warships on station. That's really kind of a pity, because I was still hoping to kind of use this warship up there. So let's put it back to the cup, but overall that's not too bad. let's draw his event card, a Scurvy Outbreak. So pretty much 2 action points for Benjamin Hornigold. And unfortunately, there aren't any merchant ships in his sea area. So I think with his 2 actions, he will simply move out of Cormontin, and I think then he will move into the transit box. And because there are still a hell of a lot of ships out here, I think he wants to get basically back to where I am. So with his second action, he will simply move in this so-called transit box here. So with the next action, he could then move here to the South America sea zone. Next is Bartholomew Roberts, so let's see what his card is. And again, we see the new Governor's card. There are a lot of those cards in the deck, so I think at least 4 or 5 or so. So we will place 2 new anti-pirate Governors out on the board. Again, I will do that off camera. And it seems we were unlucky twice, because the first anti-pirate Governor here, Hamilton, will replace Beston. So this guy will be completely out of the game. So yeah, unfortunately, we cannot do or conduct our business there. That's really a pity. And the second Governor is replaced here in Zanzibar, so Samuels will be also out of the game. So we just lost 2 pro-pirate Governors, and yeah, those ports really help you, let's say, convert your your booty into net worth and things like that. So well, that's really a pity. Okay, let's draw the event card for Bartholomew Roberts. And here we see a letter of marque. That's a good thing for him. So he will now directly sail into the next harbor. So he will keep this card for now. So this is a special card. He will draw the next card. And wow, heavy guns. Wow, that's huge, to be honest. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, yeah, he will definitely play this. He wants to travel to a pro-pirate port anyway. And right now there is still a Portuguese port here that has a pro-pirate Governor. So Bartholomew will now sail into Kilvar down there. Yeah, that's the case. And there he will play his heavy guns card with his second, let's say, option on this card here. Keep in mind that's an and event card here. So this also allows him to upgrade his ship accordingly. So I will also slide it below his player board somewhere, and also keep my little reminder. Keep in mind he will still use his letter of marque during his next activation. So whatever he does, he will do now an import action, and there he will also use the letter of marque, and then he would be able to retire peacefully in this game. The solo rules explicitly mention only Blackbeard is only allowed to retire with a letter of marque, and this is how I will play it. So whenever there is, let's say, a strong reason to retire in a different way because they have 30 victory points, for example. This is also something where the rules are pretty specific. So the pirates will then, let's say, use this letter of marque and retire when they have at least 30 victory points, which they could trade in at that point in time. This is normally the time when you get your victory points, when your pirate is retiring. I will also play it that way. So if there is a chance otherwise to whatever, cash in your notoriety in order to cash in your net worth, then I will also play it that way, unless it's not making sense or so. But one thing I just noticed, because I just noticed those debauchery and revelry tokens, and this is also something which the pirate players or the system player does. So for example, whenever there is a chance to go voluntarily in this debauchery and revelry, at that point in time they will do that. And as they are, let's say, plundered a ship or looted a ship during the last turn, Bartholomew Roberts would be in debauchery and revelry. So far we have done nothing wrong, because the only thing that you can do while in debauchery and revelry is to move and to do, let's say, this action, remove debauchery and revelry. So I will place that token here, so he will have to spend also his next action in order to get rid of this token as well. So I'm pretty sure his next turn will be more or less only going to happen here in Kilwa. Okay, and then it's Henry Avery. Let's see what his event card says. And here we have another Storms at Sea card. Again, we have to roll the D66. I think this is now something I can definitely do on camera. Let's see, where is my white die? Here it is. So again, black is the first digit, white the second one. That's 22. And that's really bad news because that's our Central America sea zone. Good thing is we are in port, so we are not affected by the storm directly, but unfortunately both of the merchants will be removed from the board. Wow, this was really tough. I was really hoping to get at least one of those, but good thing is there are still 3 more waiting up here in the West Caribbean. Okay, overall that was not that terribly bad, but still I didn't like it. So let's see what he will do. Okay, he gets 2 actions pretty much. And as there is still a merchant ship in this sea zone, I think he will try to find that merchant. So let's do that right away. So with his first action, he will try to find it. His ability is a 3, so he's still looking for a 4 or higher. Yep, he was definitely successfully. Wow, this was a brigantine. Awesome. Wow, 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 wow. No, that's a rigger, I think. Wow, that's even higher. Okay, great. So with a cargo value of 4, which is a good thing, I could still now decide to play my warship sighting, but I think right now not. East Africa is not that rich, so I think I can handle that. So he will now use his second action in order to loot that ship. So he's allowed to add 4 to his roll. Keep in mind that's this column here. Okay, that's 8 in total. 8 is not bad, to be honest. So that's 1,000 gold. That's good. And because we landed on 8, he will also be allowed to increase his crew loyalty by 1. That's definitely a good thing. So let's give him his 1,000 gold doubloons, and he's still allowed to draw a hostage, but again he's in an Arab port, so he'll not be able to get some ransom for this guy. So let's see what he got. And that's a captain, okay, with a value of 2, but with an information of 3. That's not bad, to be honest, because when you attack that particular harbor he's coming, or port that he's coming from, this captain, in this case Mocha up there, he basically can add 3 to his roll against that port. That's really huge. But of course he still needs to get that information, so he has to torture him, and his cruelty is a 3, so he has to roll higher than his cruelty roll. He will get the notoriety points anyway, he will get the crew loyalty anyway, but still he only gets the information if he rolls higher than that. Yes, he does roll higher than that. So first of all, let's see, he gets 2 notoriety points for the captain, and then he's allowed to increase his loyalty by 1, and because he did really find a very rich ship, he's allowed to increase that 1 more point. So overall that wasn't a bad turn for him. Additionally, he gets to add the information points to the, let's say, this so-called port grid. This is a nice grid that some nice guy on the Geek shared with us. It's really looking cool, really thematic. So I'm a player, so this will be B1, 2, so this was his 3rd player. So the 3rd player will now get 3 information points here in Mocha. So whenever he will attack Mocha, and I think he will do that anytime soon, he basically gets 3 additional points. Because yeah, we know how, let's say, the defenses are being organized there. Okay, awesome. That wasn't a bad turn at all. But he still has to declare voluntarily debauchery and revelry, and therefore you immediately get an additional loyalty point. And I think I forgot that for Bartholomew Roberts as well, but I will do that off camera now as well. And of course we must not forget that he also gets the notoriety point for looting that ship upstairs, though he will go to 6 notoriety points. And the ship is also removed from mortuary. Unfortunately, that's a black ship, so you cannot upgrade to a black ship here. That's really a pity. He could really repair his ship with that, but unfortunately, yeah, this goes back to the cup. Okie dokie, let's do one more round. I will draw only 1 event card this round. What did we get? A letter of marque. Awesome. That's really, really, really great. So I will keep that for sure. And as there are currently only 5 merchant ships, we will now spawn 3 more. So in the solo game, always, until you have at least 8 merchant ships on the board. Again, I will do that off camera. And again, I was kind of lucky because, again, I was able to find a merchant ship sailing to Honduras. The other ship has been spotted in the North Atlantic in Boston, and the third one here in Cape Coast at the Gold Coast. So in theory, Benjamin Hornigold could move back there, but overall Gold Coast is not really, let's say, a rich region as well. But yeah, let's think about this when we get there. And for my action card, I will play this Scurvy Outbreak now. So I get 2 actions. With my first action, I will do an import activity here. So let's see what event card he gets. And here we have the Warship Sighting. This is now kind of a problem. Normally, you are not allowed to use the warships if you don't use a proper trigger. So in this case, finding a merchant or looting a merchant. You can never play a warship against, let's say, someone who is in port at this point in time. The rules say if he does something else, then let's say the shown actions, you would still place this warship basically on station. Yeah, it's printed here basically. But as I'm in port, I'm not so sure right now, to be honest, how to deal with that. I think, yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know, because it could be good and it could be bad, to be honest. So let's roll a die. Let's roll a die. So on a 1, 2, 3, he will place this, let's say, warship on station here in Central America. 4 to 6, he's not going to play that card. No, he's not going to play that card, because on the other hand, I could also, let's say, try to actively go after this warship. Okay, I cannot really attack the warship, that's clear, but still, as per the rules, the warship will always try to attack me. So in this case, I could relatively easily defeat this warship, because with my heavy guns, I have a schooner with a combat rating of 6. So overall, I have a good chance taking out those warships there. Okay, but that was pretty much the anti-pirate card. So let's discard this. We don't have a on-station warship now in Central America. And in my import activity, the first thing that I have to do is to ransom any hostages, if I want to ransom a hostage. But of course, that was my idea. I'm in a Spanish port, it's a Spanish hostage, so I can definitely ransom him. So we have a value of 1, we multiply that basically with the result here, so that's an 8. You multiply this 8 with 50. This is also per the updated living rules. Originally this was only a 10, I believe. And 8 times 50 is 400 bucks. This is now, let's say, also deviation of the standard rules. Normally you have to place any new booty in new holes, but with hostages it's a little bit different. You can add them to an existing hold before you catch them. Right now, it doesn't really matter. I have 2 more holes available, so I could also place him there, but I will play it right away. So I have now 1,700 pieces of gold worth of booty. That's not too bad, to be honest. So let's get rid of this first mate here. Next, I would trade in my booty, so I would convert it into net worth. So this is now 1,700 bucks of net worth, which isn't that bad, because overall that's 17 victory points plus the 22 of my notoriety points. So I'm slowly getting there, but of course I still have to survive, and I have to be able to retire successfully. I could still do a refit action now, but I'm not damaged because I exchanged my ship to another schooner here. I could also go for a voluntarily debauchery and revelry, and I may do that, to be honest, because this gives me 1 more loyalty point back. But first of all, I will now cash in my letter of marque event card. Now this is also a special rule. You can do that while doing an import activity. And now I have a letter of marque, and this is a Spanish one. So Spanish ports are now always pro-pirate for me. Even with an anti-pirate governor, I could still go there and do stuff, which is a good thing. The only thing I think I cannot convert an anti-pirate governor port to safe haven at this point in time. And I can also only ever have 1 letter of marque at the same time. So this is now a Spanish one, but for me that's perfectly fine. And I think that's pretty much the end of my import activity. Of course, I could still transfer this one into a safe harbor, but I think right now I don't want to do that. A safe harbor gives me, let's say, some kind of a bonus. I think I get more gold there, if I'm not mistaken or so. Yes, it's 10% more, which is not bad to be honest. But you have to pay that and you have to bribe the governor. And as soon as, let's say, an anti-pirate governor shows up in Honduras, I will lose that status anyway. So I think right now I really don't mind. I can still now decide to go into revelry and debauchery and revelry in this case. This would give me one more loyalty point, and I still have a second action which I could use in order to get rid of that status right away. So yeah, let's do that. So let's go into debauchery and revelry, and with my second action I will directly remove that token, so I will not place it accordingly. This was already the end of my turn, so let's move over to Benjamin Hornigold. Let's see what card he gets. And here we see Mare, land leveling dogs. You lose your player turn for all your pirates are seasick. You still draw event cards to fill your hand as required though. Okay, he doesn't have a hand of cards, so he will just pass on his turn. Awesome, great for us. Okie dokie, and then it's Bartholomew Roberts. He will also draw his play immediately card. And again we see the European turmoil. What else is new? Again, we don't have any KCs on board. We don't have any warships on station, so we can also directly get rid of this card. So let's draw his normal event card, Wear and Tear. So he has pretty much two actions now. With his first action he will remove his debauchery and revelry token. With his second action, he will do the import activity. He has to do that because he has the letter of marque, and that's also, let's say, a specific rule for the solo play. He doesn't have any hostages, unfortunately, but he can still convert this booty here into net worth 700 bucks, pretty much. So yeah, I will do that now off camera. Search for the second. No, here it is. Second 0, that's okay. Then he will play his letter of marque right away. He's in a Portuguese port, which isn't great because there aren't that many on the board, but yeah, he still will do that anyway. So he now has a Portuguese letter of marque. He will not go for a safe harbor there either. There is a pro pirate, but I think he also wants to spend some, because you always have to spend net worth, not booty or something like that. So you really hand in actual victory points in order to get that safe harbor, and I think he will not do that. So let's get rid of that letter of marque for now, and I think this was also already the end of his turn. So let's move over to Henry Avery. Let's see what card he gets. Storms at Sea again. Wow, I really start to hate that card. So let's see where that goes. 33. I think this time we are okay, because again we have a storm here in Guadeloupe, or in the sea area, East Caribbean, and there are no merchants on the board whatsoever, so we can basically ignore that event card. Okay, let's see, another event card for him, another Wear and Tear, so pretty much two actions for Henry. He also has a debauchery and revelry, so I think, yeah, he will move into any port right now. Yeah, but I think he will also go to a pro pirate port, basically down here in Kilva. So yeah, I think, yeah, let's do that. So he will move there. So he's now also in port together with Bartholomew Roberts. That's not a problem. And with his second action, he will get rid of that debauchery and revelry. And yeah, I think this is already the end of round 3. Yep, that's the case. But I think I will call it a day for now. Again, I do apologize because I still keep forgetting a lot of things. Notoriety points, crew loyalty points. I really try to catch up as good as I can, but yeah, there's really a lot going on, and yeah, a lot can go wrong, and apparently, yeah, I'm really asking for trouble here playing this game outside of my league, but I still like this game a lot. I really enjoy playing it, and I cannot wait to play it multiplayer, to be honest. So I really hope I get it over with, this playthrough, until our next game night Thursday. So yeah, fingers crossed. I really hope you are still enjoying my little playthrough of Blackbeard here. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos, and yeah, until then, bye bye.